one of the quietest and wealthiest neighborhoods in America, Cottonwood Heights. $1 million home, 3 children, a highly respected Special Forces soldier, and his wife calling 911 with a shaky, terrified voice. "My husband is missing." But what no one knows is that the woman making this call had already confessed to killing someone, and the man she is reporting as missing was already dead. His body lies in a shallow grave somewhere in the wild backcountry of Utah. A marriage that looked perfect from the outside was actually built on lies, secrets, and a cold, calculated plan to kill. Tonight, we take you inside that story. The story of a wife who shot her husband while he was asleep in their bed, and then spent 7 days pretending nothing had happened. The only question left is, what could make a mother, a wife, destroy her own family in such a brutal way? Cottonwood Heights is a wealthy town. It is located in the foothills of the Wasatch Mountains, just south of Salt Lake City. The streets have trees, the houses are nice, and people feel like a community. It is the kind of place where families settle down for a long time. Children ride their bikes in the safe, circular streets, and neighbors know each other's names. In this perfect-looking place lived Jennifer Gledhill and Matthew Johnson. They were raising their 3 children, who were 11, 7, and 5 years old. From the outside, it seemed like they had a perfect life. Their house cost over $1 million, showing they were very successful. Matthew was 51 years old. He was a Green Beret in the Utah National Guard's 19th Special Forces Group. He was a soldier who had received awards for his bravery. He had served his country with honor for more than 10 years. The soldiers he worked with remember Matthew as very smart and dependable. He was the man you could always go to for answers. He was the kind of soldier who lived by the Special Forces motto, De oppresso liber, which means to free the oppressed. Matthew Johnson Gledhill was a man who served others. The people he worked with felt honored to know him. His wife Jennifer was 42 years old. She seemed to be a loyal military wife and a good mother. Matthew's friends said she was nice and liked to stay at home. She seemed happy with her life. She supported her husband's army job and raised their 3 kids. The family went to parties with Matthew's army friends. They ate meals together. They celebrated holidays and his promotions. Everyone who knew them thought they were a normal, happy family. But what you see on the outside is not always the truth. By July 2024, their happy marriage was falling apart. The couple had started talking about getting a divorce. Very few people knew how bad their problems were. Other people just saw a military family dealing with normal life stress. They did not see that the relationship had become very broken. This is how it was described in court papers later. In August 2024, Jennifer did something big. She asked the court for a protection order against Matthew. She said she needed to be kept safe from her husband. This was a very serious claim. It could have badly hurt Matthew's army career and his time with his kids. But when a court official named Russell Minus heard the case, something surprising happened. A commissioner carefully looked at the evidence Jennifer gave him. This evidence included videos and text messages that were supposed to show Matthew was threatening. But the commissioner saw a very different story. He noticed that in the videos, Jennifer did not seem afraid. She was also confrontational toward Matthew. The text messages showed that Jennifer often put Matthew down, insulted him, and tried to make him feel small. The commissioner felt her messages seemed meant to make Matthew react violently. On September 16, 2024, just 5 days before Matthew was killed, the commissioner dismissed the protective order. He decided that no abuse had happened. But in his written decision, he included a warning that now seems to predict the future. He wrote that the couple's behavior showed a very bad marriage that brought out the worst in both of them. He said they should have filed for divorce a long time ago. What the commissioner did not know was that Jennifer had already decided a divorce would never be needed. In the last few weeks of his life, Matthew's behavior started to change. His close friends said that Jennifer's unstable behavior had become so scary that Matthew spent most of September sleeping at a National Guard facility. He was worried about his safety in his own home. Kevin Thompson, a retired Utah National Guardsman and Matthew's longtime friend, remembered one of their last talks. He said Matthew had really decided that a divorce needed to happen. Matthew felt it was time to move on. Matthew was ready for a fresh start. He wanted to leave his bad marriage behind and be the best dad to his 3 kids. But Matthew didn't know the whole story. He didn't know his wife, Jennifer, was living a secret life. Jennifer was having an affair. It wasn't just a small mistake. It was a deep and intense relationship that took over her feelings. The man she was seeing thought he knew her. He saw her as a woman who was unhappy in her marriage and looking for love. What he didn't know was how far Jennifer would go to be free. On September 19, 2024, just 2 days before the murder, Jennifer did something very suspicious. She showed her boyfriend a loaded Glock 19X pistol that she kept at home. At the time, he probably didn't think it was a big deal. Many military families have guns for safety, but later, the police would say that Jennifer was already making a plan. She was thinking carefully and acting step by step. She made sure her 3 kids would stay at her parents' house on the night of September 20th. She told herself the children would be safe. They would not see what she was going to do. They would not hear the gunshot that would change their lives forever. She was preparing for a murder. September 20th, 2024 began like a normal day. But by that evening, the weak pretending in the Johnson-Gledhill marriage would finally break. Matthew had found out the truth. He knew about Jennifer's affair. Later, people would say they heard the couple having a loud fight that night. Years of marriage problems, months of unhappiness, and weeks of stress all came out into the open. According to Jennifer's later confession, Matthew confronted her. He was yelling at her because he knew she had been having an affair. The argument was very intense. They were shouting at each other and making serious accusations. It was the kind of big fight that ends marriages. But for Jennifer, it was a fight that would end a life. When the argument was over, the house got quiet. Matthew went to bed. Maybe he thought they would talk more in the morning. Maybe he thought they would start getting a divorce. Maybe he was just tired from the emotional fight. He did not know he would never wake up. Early on the morning of September 21st, 2024, Matthew was asleep in his bed. He was defenseless and had no idea he was in danger. The man who had served his country in the military never thought his wife sleeping next to him was his biggest threat. Jennifer made her choice. She took Matthew's own 9mm handgun and shot him in the head while he slept. What she did next, by her own account, was very calculated. She did not panic or feel sorry. There was no, "What have I done?" moment. Instead, she started a carefully planned cover-up. She put Matthew's body into a storage bin from the rooftop. Then, in a task that must have been hard and horrible, she slid the bin down the stairs of their house. She put her husband's body in the back of their family minivan. This was the same van she used to drive their kids to school and activities. She smashed Matthew's phone so it could not be tracked. She drove his truck to a nearby area and left it a few blocks from their home. She did this to make it look like Matthew had left on his own. Then, while it was still dark before sunrise, Jennifer drove north with her husband's body. She went to a very remote area in northern Utah. There, she dug a shallow grave and buried the father of her children. After she returned home, the real work started. Jennifer spent many hours cleaning the main bedroom. She used bleach on the walls to remove any spots of blood. She cleaned the carpet thoroughly, trying to erase all proof of her crime. However, she knew the mattress had too much blood on it to be saved. Just 3 days after the murder, on September 24th, Jennifer bought a new mattress online. It was delivered 2 days later. She put the new mattress on the bed and got rid of the old one where her husband had died. But Jennifer's biggest mistake was still to come. On September 22nd, very close to midnight, she went to her boyfriend's house. This was barely a day after the murder. She felt a strong need to tell someone what she had done. Maybe she wanted to be forgiven. Maybe she wanted someone to feel sorry for her, or maybe she just couldn't keep the horrible secret to herself anymore. She told him everything. She confessed to killing her husband, Matthew. She described how she got rid of his body and how she cleaned the scene of the crime. While they were talking, the man saw bruises on Jennifer's body. When he asked her about them, her answer was cold and very casual. She said she got the bruises while burying her husband and cleaning the house to remove evidence. Her boyfriend was terrified. The woman he thought he knew had just calmly admitted to a brutal murder. What he did next became very important for the police case. He was so scared and disturbed by her confession that he decided to record their next phone call. That phone call happened at 11:47 p.m. What Jennifer said next would decide her fate forever. Her boyfriend told Jennifer that he was frightened by what she had told him. Her response showed how little she was connected to reality. She said, "Wow, if you think I could even hurt a fly? He's not a person. He wasn't a person anymore. He wasn't Matt." She had completely stopped thinking of her husband as a human being. Because of this, his death meant nothing to her. The man she married was the father of her children and a soldier who had served his country with honor. But in her mind, he was no longer a person, he was just a problem she needed to get rid of. Jennifer's scary confessions continued. Her lover asked her if she would be afraid if he were the one planning to kill her. Jennifer's answer became some of the most chilling evidence in the case. She said, "Not if I deserved it." Then she added, "I always say I was like the Queen of Hearts in my past lives because I'm like, off with their heads." She also said, "If we could just round up the scum of the earth and put them on an island or just kill them all, I could fix this country and make it good again." Jennifer then asked her lover not to think of her as a monster. She told him to remember who she was before she started saying these things. This was deeply ironic. She was asking for understanding right after confessing to cold-bloodedly murdering the father of her children. The timing of this conversation was very important. This phone call happened before Matthew was officially reported missing. Jennifer was already talking about her husband as if he were gone forever. Even though no one else knew Matthew was dead, her lover started gathering proof. He took pictures of their text messages. He recorded their phone calls. Finally, on October 2nd, 2024, he went to the police with the information that would solve the case. Meanwhile, the Utah National Guard had started looking for Matthew on September 23rd because he did not show up for duty. This was very unlike him. He was a dedicated soldier with more than 10 years of excellent service. His fellow Green Berets were worried and started calling around, trying to find their friend. It wasn't until September 28th, a full week after the murder, that Jennifer finally told the police Matthew was missing. She told them that Matthew had said he would be gone for a week and had told her not to call him. To a normal person, the explanation might have made sense, but to the police, who soon learned the truth, it was a lie they had built carefully. On September 28th, police in Cottonwood Heights got permission to search Jennifer's house. What they found inside was very different from the story Jennifer had been telling. In the main bedroom, they found a large, bloody stain on the carpet under the bed. There was also blood on the wooden slats of the bed frame. The location and pattern of the blood matched exactly what Jennifer had told her boyfriend, that she shot Matthew while he was sleeping. The house smelled strongly of bleach. There were reddish-brown spots on the walls, the bed frame, and the window blinds. This was evidence of blood spatter that someone had tried but failed to clean completely. And, most importantly, the mattress in the bedroom was brand new. Phone records proved that Jennifer had ordered it on September 24th. This was just 3 days after the murder. It was delivered 2 days after that. The timing of this order made Jennifer look very guilty. The GPS information from Jennifer's phone made things even clearer for the police. The data showed that she traveled to the place where Matthew's truck was found. She was there around 6 a.m. on September 21st. Later that same day, the GPS tracked her going north toward Davis County. This was the exact area where she had said she buried his body. On October 2, 2024, the police had everything they needed. They had the recorded confessions and a lot of physical evidence. They arrested Jennifer and charged her with first-degree murder and obstruction of justice. But the investigation was not over yet. On October 24, 2024, police made 2 more arrests that shocked the community. They arrested Jennifer's parents, Thomas Gledhill, who was 71, and Rosalie Gledhill, who was 67, were both charged with 4 counts of obstruction of justice. The police investigation showed that the couple had been at Jennifer's house for over 5 hours in late September. At first, they had claimed they were only there for less than an hour to pick up some clothes. This made the police ask a big question. What were they really doing during all those hours? Investigators found out that Rosalie bought the new mattress for Jennifer. This seemed very suspicious. Also, during the time they were cleaning up, Rosalie reset her phone from a distance. This erased all the data about where she was and what she was doing. It was a digital cover-up to go with the physical one. When the police asked Thomas about the main bedroom and the cleanup, he accidentally gave away important information. He told them, "I did not go in where the incident happened." By saying this, he showed he knew about a crime scene, even though the police had not told the public about it yet. During a search of the parents' house, the police found a Glock 19X gun box. It was hidden inside a plastic storage container near Jennifer's bedroom, and it was wrapped in a baby's onesie. This gun matched the description of the one Jennifer had shown to her boyfriend on September 19th. She used that same gun to kill her husband just 2 days later. The perfect murder that Jennifer planned was turning into a project for the whole family. However, their network of lies was starting to fall apart quickly. Many months have passed since Jennifer was arrested, but Matthew Johnson's body has still not been found. The search for this honored soldier has become one of the biggest in Utah's recent history. The search has spread across many counties, from Davis and Weber counties all the way to Box Elder County near the border of Utah and Idaho. More than 70 people have helped in the search. This includes police, volunteers, and Matthew's own friends from the military, who have formed their own search teams. These are the men who served with Matthew, who relied on him in dangerous situations, and who thought of him as a brother. Now, they are looking through fields, forests, and remote areas, hoping to find their friend and bring him home. In recent court hearings, the prosecutors shared a new discovery. They found a storage container for a vehicle that was floating in some water tests, confirmed that the blood inside the container belonged to Matthew. This new evidence helped connect Jennifer to the crime. However, Matthew's body has still not been found. Investigators are following all tips and expanding their search across northern Utah. They hope to find Matthew and bring him home to his family. Jennifer Gledhill has said she is not guilty to all the charges against her. The charges she faces are 1 count of first-degree murder, 5 counts of obstruction of justice, 1 count of possession of a controlled substance, illegal drugs, 1 count of abuse or desecration of a human body, 1 count of tampering with a witness. At her bail hearing, the prosecutors said Jennifer was a big danger to the community and the investigation. They said she told her lover that she would shoot herself before going to jail. This showed she was desperate and could be violent. The judge agreed with the prosecutors. He said Jennifer was a risk to the community and denied her bail. She will stay in the Salt Lake County Jail until her trial. Another complicated part of this case is Matthew's life insurance policy. It was worth $500,000, and Jennifer was the person who would get the money. Now that Jennifer is charged with his murder and Matthew's body is missing, the insurance company has asked the court to decide who should receive the money. This is a sad reminder that Jennifer's actions not only destroyed lives, but also created difficult legal and money problems. Jennifer's trial is set to start on December 8, 2025, and should last for 8 days. The case against Jennifer looks very strong. The prosecutors have many pieces of evidence. A recording of Jennifer confessing to the crime, physical evidence from the crime scene, GPS data that shows where she went, the testimony of her lover, evidence that her parents helped her cover up the crime. The prosecution has a simple but scary idea. They think Jennifer Gledhill killed her husband because he found out she was having an affair. She wanted to be free to be with her lover. Instead of going through a difficult divorce, which might have meant sharing custody and money, she chose murder. The saddest part of this case is the 3 children. They have lost both parents. One parent was murdered, and the other parent is in prison. These children, who are now 11, 7, and 5 years old, will grow up knowing their mother killed their father. They will also know their grandparents helped hide the crime. They will never have another Christmas with their father. He will never see them graduate. He will never walk them down the aisle at their wedding or meet his grandchildren. Matthew Johnson's family has released a statement. They said, "We hope we find Matt soon. Or we hope Jennifer or someone else will tell us where his body is. We want to bury him properly." This is a simple request, but Jennifer has refused to do it. Even now, while she is facing life in prison, she will not tell the police where Matthew's body is. This is one last cruel thing she has done to the man she promised to love. We are waiting for Jennifer's trial in December 2025. One big question bothers everyone involved in this case. How can a mother of 3 children think it is okay to ruin so many lives just to have an affair? We may never fully understand how selfish and cruel Jennifer Gledhill is. Sometimes, a terrible act does not have a good explanation. What we know for sure is that her actions caused deep pain. This pain will never completely go away. The legal system might punish the crime, but that does not change the most important fact. Matthew Johnson will never return home to his children. He will not be there to watch them become adults. He will never get to hold his future grandchildren. In a quiet part of northern Utah, a loving father and soldier is buried. His grave has no name. He is waiting for someone to be honest. He is waiting for someone to reveal his location and bring him home. This is the story of Jennifer Gledhill. It is a story about betrayal and murder. A family was destroyed because one woman was too scared to take responsibility for what she did. Matthew Johnson was an honorable soldier who served his country. He deserved a much better fate. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked this video, please like and share it. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon so you will be the first to know about new real-life stories like this one.